Hello and a very good morning. You're watching News 9 Live. I'm Kabir Naqvi. Joining me here in the studio is my dear colleague Varghese P. Abraham. And what Varghese and I essentially get down to early in the morning at about 9 a.m. every day is to look at what is the internet telling us, what is the social media buzz with, but more importantly, what are several newspapers telling us, what are the top headlines, what's page one looking like today. And Varghese, it seems like we've got a hefty full to cover today. So much that we can do in terms of discussions and debates throughout the day as well. And another important thing here is that all the viewers out there that are joining this particular live stream, I'd really like you to get down in the comment sections below and tell us what your opinion is. How would you like us to, progress through the day? If there's an important discussion that you'd want, the News 9 team to take up, then we will bring the right experts, the right voices for you, because the idea is to bring the news closer to you, for you to consume, that is by you and for you as well. Now, on the front page, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at some developments. Amit Shah slammed the UPA government on terror, says any Alia, Malia, Jamalia could enter. Arvind Kejriwal, he's mounted up an attack against the centre. He says, you are next. Arvind Kejriwal warning states that are not with the BJP and targets the Prime Minister over the recent ordinance row. So essentially a row over control of Delhi. Who controls Delhi? In terms of the restless protest, Varghese, under sexual harassment cloud, Brij Bhushan stages show of strength. He's come out clearly and said he's going to contest the Lok Sabha elections again. There is the BJP's Telangana challenge that we will also talk about. But first and foremost, and of course, let me just show the viewers. You've got a Djokovic who's now in a league of his own. A big picture right here in the center. 23 Grand Slams. I mean, that's something simply surreal and superb at the same time. But right at the forefront, Manipur is something that we've not lost our focus from. Varghese, big day. It's a Monday, start of a new day, start of a new chapter in the peace progress in Manipur. The Home Ministry has named 51 people to the Manipur Peace Panel. But importantly here, the Kukis, which is the other side, the other dissenting side, it has objected. It has not given its consent.
Well, it is, it is a very complex situation that the centre is dealing with. And finally, of course, there is a peace panel right now, which is good enough. But having a peace panel with a little, starting off with the confusion is not the way forward. The Hindu has put out the headline out of there, and I think I'll just lift the paper just to show what is the headline that is there on the Hindu. It says, Cookies, in fact, boycott peace panel over CM's presence. Now, this peace panel is supposed to have at least 51 members. Most of them do not have their names being asked before being put in the panel. So it seems to be a very ad hoc kind of a system that they have put in place. So this itself has led to the kind of what I was saying, the lack of confidence that is there among the representatives. Now, when you have a peace panel, you have to note that when the people, both the ethnicities will have to come together. Once they come together, they should understand what is the CBMs that they have to build. Once they know what is the confidence building measures that they can put through, they have to have peace committees at the local level. Now, from there, both of the community leaders should work. Now, where is the fault line? We are seeing at the foothills and in Imphal, where the fault lines are there between both the communities. So it's going to be a daunting task. Now, when you have a 51-member panel, it is a jumbo kind of a panel. In that jumbo panel, if a group of people are saying that they did not take our consent before going ahead and naming us, well, that itself starts on the wrong foot. So a lot of people are worried about it, and clearly the other issue being is about the Chief Minister.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I was coming to, because, the Kuki community, and I understand that the peace process can take more time than it already is. I mean, this is an unprecedented sort of a situation. I've been saying this time, you can't expect the Home Ministry to go there, wave a wand and things are going to be fine. He's set up a peace panel, there's unified command, there is thought behind the process and the progress that is being made on the ground. But the Kuki community, which is the other community in this dissenting side, they're saying that, I mean, our fight and our angst, our you know, the entire anger is against the Chief Minister, that he's openly biased towards the Methi community. He's siding with the Methi community. And with the Chief Minister now on the peace panel, and he's saying, you know, I mean, is this sort of a back to square one sort of a situation? I mean, will this, you know, hit the peace progress over there?
Well, that is the thing that is also quite
Let's not
worrying.
forget the violence.
The violence was
still
something
there.
that
People still have weapons with
But
them.
there is some good news about on the violence front, which I'll go to it in a little while. This is what it has been said over here when it comes to several people who were made members of the panel revealed that they had been added without their consent. One such member, Kuki in Manipur, KIM president, Ajang Khongsai, said he would not be able to sit with the Manipur government for peace talks. The panel, including Kokumi, Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity, a civil society group in Imphal, that has declared war against the Kukis. We want peace, but at this critical junction, when violence continues, we cannot hold talks with the Manipur government, is what Khongsai has said. Well, it is also, other tribal people have also, in fact, joined in. Nemcha Kingpin, a tribal minister in Manipur, is a member of the panel. She could not be reached for comments at the moment, is what the Hindu has said. And, of course, they have continued that story to page 12. And in that, it says that All Manipur United Clubs Organization president, who is based in Imphal, Nando Luwang, said he was unaware of his name being included in the panel, but saw it as a positive step. So some people, you know, they've just been caught off guard. And since it's a huge responsibility, some have taken it in the stride, saying that, okay, fine, if I can contribute to peace, let me go ahead. But some of them have just been taken off guard, and they say that when there are emotions, raw emotions running so high, it is very difficult to have a negotiation with the Manipur government. Well, the MHA said that the mandate of the committee will be to facilitate the peacemaking process among various ethnic groups of the state, including peaceful dialogue and negotiations between conflicting parties and groups. Meanwhile, the most important group of this, the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, ITLF, said it strongly reiterated the need for normalcy to prevail before the constitution of any such peace committee in the region. Now, they've been saying that unless we are confident that there is peace on the ground, then we can think of going ahead and having a peace panel.
This is what's, you know, I've been reading on the internet. This here is a copy on the Hindu website. It says, Kuki members to boycott centers peace committee over Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh's presence. Representatives note that they were not consulted about the Chief Minister's inclusion, even as several members on the panel say their consent was not sought before their names were added to the list. Now, in that particular you know, category of people, there are people who think that this is a positive step as well. But representatives are saying that they're going to boycott the Centre's Peace Committee over Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh's presence. The Kuki community is
ITLF has also said that the same thing. ITLF strongly condemns the inclusion of CM N. Biren Singh, the very perpetrator of the current violence in the peace committee. So it looks like the contention is also about Biren Singh being included in the peace committee. So it's going to be quite a difficult situation when you have a peace committee in place and you're unable to speak. Yeah.
Could they not have done without the Chief Minister in the peace committee?
They could and they couldn't have. In the sense, if they could, you would be seeing probably a turmoil within the Methi community, because Methi community is looking at Chief Minister Biren Singh. So it would be looking at sidelining a very powerful leader. It would not look good when you have the Methis, because it will be losing confidence on the Methis. Now, if you had to include him, then the Kukis are going to lose the confidence in the entire thing. So it's going to be, it is not going to be, it is already a catch-22 situation by including Biren Singh or not. But including Biren Singh would also ensure that the Methis come onto the table.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't want people outside to feel like, you know, we're two people sitting here in the national capital trying to decode what's really happening in Manipur. We're trying to understand what the newspaper is telling us, what, you know, various headlines are putting in front of us. And we can only hope that good sense prevails in the end. The idea is that the peace panel and the dialogue should continue.
Continue is what we should be looking at. Just before that, there is one more article in the States which says peace is returning to Manipur, is what one of the ministers claim. However, some Imphal Valley-based organizations will be skipping the International Day of Yoga, which will be held on June 21st, and observe it as a day of mourning. that is one news that's also come. So International Day of Yoga will be a day of mourning in Manipur for some of the organizations.
And the idea here seems to be to send a larger message, because Yoga Day in India is not just a day where you pull out the yoga mat. I mean, it is actually celebrated. You know, Yoga Day has been the brainchild of the Modi government as well.
So it looks like, yes, a larger message seems to be
message.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope that good sense prevails and something really, you know, constructive and peaceful comes out of the peace committee over here. All right, Varghese, what next do we move on to? We've got so much to cover here on the first page.
So, well, looks like we have Brijbhushan Singh that we can in fact look into, and Brijbhushan Singh has held a rally of sorts, and he has stated, that is the most important part of it. What he stated in that rally is that he will fight the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. But interestingly enough, he didn't say that he would contest it from the same party, which is to say from the BJP itself. So the Hindu has also again put out that article saying BJP MP accused of sexual harassment of wrestlers says will contest 2024 polls. Brijbhushan Singh,
show of strength, his confidence, will contest
also
Lok Sabha again. All I'm saying is, I mean, I don't understand how he's going to posture himself. He's an important politician for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Gonda, you know, several seats near Gonda, in and around Gonda. I mean, this man has proper sway on the ground over there. And there's a reason why he's, you know, right up there for the BJP. But now it seems like with this sexual harassment cloud on him, and the wrestlers' protest, and you know how we take wrestling so seriously in India. It is the sport that gets us the medals at the international stage. I don't understand how this, you know, him posturing like this, at least before the 15th of June, before the charge sheet was filed, whatever happened to the Mahapanchayat of the wrestlers, there's the farmers angle over here as well. So you can clearly understand why the government could be on the back foot with Brijbhushan Singh. But this man has his own legacy to deal with.
He has his own, yes, what you said is exactly right. He has his own legacy to deal with, and the Times of India has also put out that story in front page where it says that ex-WFI chief in a show of strength says will fight LS elections again, but doesn't say if he will be BJP candidate. And this particular rally that he held, Brijbhushan made the statement while speaking to reporters on the sidelines of the BJP rally in Gonda, part of the Kaisarganj constituency, to mark 9 years of Narendra Modi government. BJP will win 80 seats in Uttar Pradesh and form the government once again at the center in 2024 is what he said. And then he said that he had in fact arrived, they also say the manner in which he arrived. The saffron-clad Brijbhushan arrived at the rally in a huge convoy and a 25-kilometer roadshow of strength, and a 25-kilometer roadshow that was keen as a virtual show of strength, and made a speech in which he did not delve into the charges of sexual harassment from some of the top wrestlers. Basically, he avoided that keen subject into which he's in the limelight because of it, and other than 2 couplets on his predicament at the start and end of his address. So basically, he did not go into the entire issue about.
And with the use of couplets, you mean things have gotten emotional. And what's most interesting here in this Times of India copy is the fact that he says that, actually, the interesting part is what he hasn't said. He hasn't said whether he will be a BJP candidate or not.
Yes, that is what because
I'm interested to see if he chooses to part ways or, you know, fights on it from a different party. All speculation at this point in time. How big of a hit will that be for the BJP?
Probably he will go for as an independent candidate, and if he's an independent candidate, the question would be whose vote he'll be cutting. So now the bigger question is whether this is
his own son, I think, and you know, one of his family members is, you know, right now he's been given the main Gonda seat because, well, it's all Brijbhushan Sharan Singh. I mean, that's the face. He's the face of the entire area. So if he does go, he's going to take a huge chunk of voters with him. But on the other hand, do you think him coming out and saying that, you know, hey, look, I'm going to fight the next year's elections with this POXO case, then the father retracting that particular complaint,
well, the case
several other sexual harassment case, the wrestlers' point of view. See, what happens to their morale? What happens to their integrity? The integrity that they had built over the last month and a half. Those, you know, kushti sessions at the Jantar Mantar, cardio sessions at Jantar Mantar. From then, the police detains them. They go have 2 rounds of discussions with Anurag Thakur. One lasts for 6 hours. Anurag Thakur comes out, says there's going to be a charge sheet soon. this is what they wanted in the same time.
Well, on one side, that case is going to continue, whether it has its own independent process to happen, so that case is going to continue. So we'll have to wait and see while the due process of law takes place. But meantime, politics is going to also take place. And the Times of India has also given out something interesting in the inside pages regarding this rally, Kabir. A bridge roadshow backed by host of BJP MLAs, all right? And the rally sees surging crowds. UP BJP chief had also reviewed the preparations for that rally. Now, that means there is direct support when it comes to Brijbhushan Singh's case. And you were talking about lyrical spin, and it's there in the inside pages. And my Hindi is really bad. My Hindi is really bad, but I think you should be better reading it before I kill it. It says Brijbhushan Singh, inside pages on page 15, and probably you can, in fact, tell me also what it means by then.
All right, let me give that a shot.
Because if I read it, it's going to be really
You know,
bad.
I mean, because the interesting thing here is that it is a show of strength, but one has to understand who is this strength being shown to.
Yeah.
That's actually...
There, it's there at the top. Can you read that out?
Where is it? I really can't. All right.
Yeah.
Brijbhushan Sharan Singh turned lyrical at Sunday's Gonda rally to narrate his plight over sexual harassment charges by wrestlers. Kabhi ashk, kabhi gam और कभी जहर पिया जाता है, ये मिला मुझको मोहब्बत का सिला, बेवफा कहकर मुझे याद किया जाता है, इसको रुसवाई कहें कि शोहरत अपनी, दबे होठों से मेरा नाम लिया जाता है. Well, there is a translation right below it. Being called unfaithful is the reward I have received for my love. Call it notoriety or fame, they take my name clandestinely.
So now you have poetry also in this, and of course, you know, you have the manner in which you're doing your campaigning, and you have the support of the party, and now you have couplets to say what your situation is.
And you know what you also said about other MLAs, you know, attending that particular rally, and the idea of who this strength is being shown to. This could be a major, you know, who's got more power on ground, who's got more, you know, MLA muscle, you know what I mean?
Probably it's also to see, Brijbhushan represents a certain population, and you don't want that population to move out of your electoral arithmetic, if I could put it. So it seems that is what is working on the ground also, and whoever the MLAs have come also have significant amount of that population within their constituencies. So they cannot be seen not supporting, because at the end of the day, you know, people vote in the way that they want to vote. So they are being very honest with on their electoral math. That's the basic thing about this. So it looks like they're all driven by electoral math, but let us understand that this person has been accused by them. The due process of law is underway. We are no one to declare whether this person is guilty or not guilty about it. That is for the courts to decide. But these are the allegations that are there, and we're just reporting what the allegations are there and what this person has responded to it. That is the end of it. I think we should keep it to, because we don't know what has happened. Let the due process of law happen. The Delhi police is investigating it. So there's a due process of law happening, and let the courts
15th of June will, you know, dispel a lot of queries.
Yes.
In the sense that the charge sheet is going to be out.
The charge sheet will be ready by
We'll
then.
understand what finally happened with the Delhi police and where this struggle is headed. What is going to be the, you know, point of view of the wrestlers, and how is Brijbhushan Sharan Singh now going to posture himself next? It's going to be all very interesting to see. All right. The Times of India front page that I've just seen is way too colorful, more colorful than the Indian Express. Again, not suggesting that we're out here to, you know, nitpick on which newspaper is better. I'm just telling you, it looks more colorful than the Indian Express today. And Arvind Kejriwal, I see him here on the front page of the Indian Express also. Row over control of Delhi intensifies. You are next. Kejriwal has warned states that are not with the BJP and has targeted the Prime Minister over the ordinance row. You will be next. Arvind Kejriwal warns other states and ordinance, taking Aam Aadmi Party's fight against the centre ordinance on control over services to the streets. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal at a rally in Ramleela Maidan on Sunday claimed that Delhi was just the beginning and similar ordinances will be brought for other states.
See, the Hindu has covered it also. It says PM's anti-Delhi ordinance infringes upon tenets of democracy. That is what Kejriwal has said. And interestingly enough, there is a picture with, Rajya Sabha member Kapil Sibal also in that. And
Insaf Ke Sipahi angle
because
to the Aam Admis of the national capital. Yeah. And also, interestingly, it's the same place where he was sworn in 3 times. It's a place where the party was born.
Some kind of luck. Some kind of luck associated
maybe,
with AAP and
it could be the Ram Leela luck that he
Ram Leela
needs.
Ground seems to be kind of related though.
But it's also big messaging. I mean, I remember this very weekend I got a call from a random number and it was Arvind Kejriwal speaking. मैं Arvind Kejriwal बोल रहा हूँ. क्या मैं आपसे 2 मिनट बात कर सकता हूँ? दोस्तों, इस संडे हमें यहाँ पर एकत्रित होना है. दोस्तों, यहाँ पर हमें अपनी फाइट को आगे लेकर जाना है. So he's actually getting, actually speaking to each person, going door to door, putting across his message, because he's taking this fight seriously.
He is taking it quite seriously, and here one of the statements that he's in fact made, and the Hindu hasn't got it, reported about, will defeat dictator. That is the small subheader that is there. We have gathered here to defeat a dictator, just as we were successful in our fight 12 years ago. I am confident that in the fight also we will be successful, and the dictatorship that we'll be experiencing in this country will come to an end. Now, this is what Kejriwal said in that Ram Leela grounds, and the BJP has in fact reacted to that also, okay, and they have an article very close to the one that I was speaking about. AAP rally a failure, venue will have to be purified, is what the BJP has said. Hitting out Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, BJP leader and Northeast Delhi MP Manoj Tiwari on Sunday recalled the time Mr. Kejriwal spent at Ram Leela Maidan with social activist Anna Hazare in campaign against corruption. Today he, that is referring to Kejriwal, was again screaming from the same place, but this time to cover up his corruption, is what Tiwari has said. Speaking to the press, Tiwari, along with Delhi BJP chief Virendra Sachdeva, said, so many corrupt people had gathered at AAP's Maha rally that it would have to be purified with holy water. The Lok Sabha member termed the event as failure and described the PM as a political tourist. Described the CM as the political tourist who has turned
that
a blind eye
jive
to the
is not going to go down well with a lot of people who have
gathered over there. So, it looks like Tiwari has said that you need to purify the place because a lot of corrupt people had gathered over there. So, we are waiting for AAP's response to that.
Ill-mannered Nawab out to destroy Delhi. The BJP hits back. The BJP says Arvind Kejriwal is corrupt. I'm just saying, in this fight where Arvind Kejriwal seems to be working the optics better than the BJP, in my limited opinion, and Arvind Kejriwal has come out and he said that, you'll be next, your state is going to be next. Says ordinance shows that Narendra Modi does not respect the Supreme Court. I mean, those are his jibes. Their jibes are, you're corrupt, you're ill-mannered.
See,
what is this ill-mannered Nawabism that you're out on the streets?
See, the entire problem starts with defining Delhi. What is Delhi? Delhi is not a physical entity like other states. It is not a political entity like other states. It is something that is between everything. It's neither a complete state. It is neither a complete capital. It is neither everything. We know Delhi as Delhi NCR, so you have other areas also adjoining to it. And when we say the capital, it is New Delhi region. Then when we talk about the administrative aspects of it, you have a lot of say from the central government on it because the central government is instituted over here. But then Delhi has a state status also. It has its own legislative assembly, it has its own chief minister. It is not like a union territory. It is above a union territory but lesser than a state. So this creature of Delhi is not being defined. And the recent Supreme Court order that speaks saying that the state bureaucracy has to be maintained by by the chief minister and by the cabinet ministers of Delhi state. Well, that again puts the ball into the court, saying that again, what we have to define Delhi as what it is, whether it is a quasi-state, if it is a full state, if it's a half state, what is it?
Do you think people on the ground, I mean, of course, what you raised
is this is going to go on, because at every point you're going to have this issue.
On the administration front, that is a
pertinent
point. I agree with you. But अब इतने सालों से चलता आ रहा है, Itne saalon se Delhi is what we know of Delhi.
It can be for years together, but in this country, some things need to
Right
be.
now,
For example,
now the politicians also.
Arvind Kejriwal is trying to push for that definition, saying that please define Delhi for me. What is Delhi? Where does the power of the chief minister, where does the powers of the chief minister end and where the powers of the center begin? Please tell me where it is. And when he says that the other states, the others are full-fledged states. But then again, the others, what he is probably also referring is that he's talking about other states is that there is a possibility that your state bureaucracy can also be taken over by the center. Now, there are possibilities that the constitution does define when possibilities like
when he's trying to gather sympathy, he's trying to
gather sympathy
support
from non-BJP, CMs
right
as well.
now, the person at the helm of affairs in Delhi, well, so-called helm of affairs, Arvind Kejriwal, he's also out there to do politics. I mean, essentially, he's out there for his immediate political gain. What will happen of Delhi, how crucial it is for other chief ministers in the time to come to understand that, it's important to define what Delhi is, what kind of powers you
No, because even for the common citizen, it has to be defined. Please tell me what is Delhi as a territory. Tell me what it is. I want to know, is it a full-fledged state?
People out there also watching this stream, if you're from the national capital or not, doesn't really matter. Get down in the comment sections. Tell us, do you even know what this problem is actually all about? Does one understand what the ordinance row is about? I mean, people who are aware of the, the legal conundrum and the political, socio-political factors at play here will understand. But essentially, do people know? Do Delhiites out there know why Arvind Kejriwal is fighting? That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He's going down door to door, trying to simplify the problem to tell the people
the problem is very simple. When, as you said, you got a call. What is it all about? You have chosen me to be your chief minister. I am unable to work. Why I am unable to work? Because my state bureaucracies were not completely with me. Why is it not me? I've gone to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's order is there, and then the ordinance has come, and therefore the center is intervening in it. This is the messaging that is there. Now the question is, you have elected me. Have you elected me, or have you elected the center to rule your state? No, that is the question of administration that he is asking over here. Now, what the BJP would say, this is the national capital. We can't just keep it as a full-fledged state. If it is the national capital and if we can't keep it as a full-fledged state, then the question that we should be asking is that there are aspects of administration that should be completely within our hands. Example, law and order. It is completely in the center's hand when it comes to Delhi, isn't it? So to what extent? So that means this is not a full-fledged state. So the center has its arguments also at the same time. And it says that it needs to keep some parts of the state bureaucracy with itself because there are aspects of national security involved, or maybe aspects of certain aspects of the capital's infrastructure that needs to be kept in mind when it comes to the center's ambitions and goals as well. So they would say that we are going by the book. We have to keep it in this thing. It doesn't make sense in having an open fight on this. But then the people have asked the question. Kejriwal is also asking that question. Define Delhi. What is Delhi?
Well,
politically,
when we get a definition of what Delhi is,
politically, please define Delhi is according to
now. BJP is there in the center. Okay, let's take a look at another political tussle that's shaping up. We saw what happened in Karnataka. Telangana goes to polls later on this year, and in Telangana, the Congress has sort of thrown its gauntlet to the BRS, the Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti. That has that actually, you'll have a better understanding of that. Has that put the BJP on the back foot a little? And I understand that the BJP is in the center and it's their game to lose. I mean, it's their job to win it again, right? And it's the opposition's game to win and the BJP's game to lose. And because the situation is such, you'd see BJP, taking on battles on all different fronts. But do you think it's putting the right kind of pressure on BJP, the opposition? I mean, if one is looking in terms of the opposition, in Vellore, I'm reading this top news from the Times of India. It says, in Vellore, Amit Shah invokes the Sengol, appeals for votes and victory for NDA in over 25 of 39 TN seats in 2024 LS poll. So that Sengol in the parliament was not for anything. So if one is looking at Telangana, help the viewers understand what's really happening in Telangana. You've got the Congress, you've got the BJP, Bandi Sanjay, big name, Revant Reddy, and you've got, of course, K. Chandrasekhar Rao.
Well, Bandi Sanjay has emerged technically as the leader of the BJP who's been making the noise in Telangana for the BJP. In the sense, he's been trying to run the Rath Yatras, he's been trying to run Yatras on very local levels. He's been trying to push the party into a space that was technically vacated by Congress, because the Congress was the main opposition party. And the history of when Telangana formed, it's not that,
I'll tell you a corridor whisper. People have likened him to Yediyurappa as well. They say what Yediyurappa is for the BJP in Karnataka, Bandi Sanjay has the potential of becoming something like that.
A regional satrap, yes.
In Telangana.
Yeah, that is there, especially when it comes to Bandi Sanjay, when we are talking about Bandi Sanjay. The thing is that he's the one who is technically keeping the BJP together, all right? Now, he has a style of functioning. He is ideologically rooted, one. For the BJP, he's ideologically rooted. Second, he has no qualms in having this upfront kind of a competition with BRS in the sense that he's ready to take them on the streets. So he's also a street fighter when it comes to that. Rally for rally, marches for marches. So he tends to create that kind of a system also. Plus, he has the root connect with what we call as some of the major communities in Telangana as well. Now, where the issue comes from? Issue is from 17 MLAs who think Bandi Sanjay is interfering too much into even their spaces as well. So now this is something that has gathered pace, and meanwhile we must also understand that the Congress is upbeat about its victory in Karnataka and Revanth Reddy is buoyant about it.
What are BJP's essential problems there?
The BJP's essential problems is being that it has got a leadership within itself which is crumbling because they cannot, though Bandi Sanjay is a leader from the grassroots.
Reddy, he hails from Telangana.
But he's in this thing, right?
He's in the
center, yeah. So now the question over here is that
he does have his own sway on
But you have a grassroots worker in Bandi Sanjay. You have a grassroots worker in Bandi Sanjay who's got grassroots support, but he doesn't have the support of his other leaders, exactly, within Telangana. So these 17 MLAs who've raised that issue with Bandi Sanjay, they have openly and publicly come out and made statements against him. So it is an open fight that is happening. They made statements.
Come December, can the BJP mount up the right kind of attack to topple KCR? Is that even possible?
It depends. They tasted
We've
success.
seen those
it depends
newspaper ads.
Yeah,
10 years of Telangana.
Yeah, we have seen that. But then it depends. You know why? Because the BJP has tasted success in the GHMC polls, or the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation polls. They have tasted success over there. But I'm saying it's a step. It gives you an insight. Plus, in some of the by-elections also, they've been able to taste success. This has given them the fact that Telangana could be their next state where they can actually toy with the idea of keeping, getting into another southern state. So that is why Telangana has turned out to be important. Now, within the ranks of the BJP, of course, there are people with ambitions, and Bandi Sanjay has only been the person who's been making the noise in this. Now, there is another name that we have to keep in mind, and that is Itala Rajendra. Now, Itala Rajendra was the person who was with the BRS.
Right before the GHMC polls went to the BJP.
Exactly.
Big name for the TRS, erstwhile TRS.
Yes, it is erstwhile BRS now. So, now Itala Rajendra is being touted probably to be the person to lead, and the 17 rebel leaders within the BJP are also not averse to that. So, Itala Rajendra's emergence, a person who's moved on corruption charges, and there was a talk about how whether the TRS will go ahead and prosecute him. So, he had switched sides, and he's emerging slowly from the shadows, and you have these people who had been against Bandi Sanjay also projecting him, and Bandi Sanjay, being the person who made all the noise on the ground, seems to see suddenly a rival emerging against him, and Itala Rajendra probably being projected as such. That has unsettled a lot of things. Basically, an internal factionalism has developed all of a sudden within the Telangana BJP.
That means that's going to end up helping the Congress?
Well, it could end up helping the Congress regain the opposition space which they had vacated because they had, obviously been weakened over the years.
And in the meantime, KCR is all smiles.
KCR is all smiles because there are also talks saying that these 17 rebel leaders have been in touch with him. So there could be possible switchovers from the BJP to the BRS as well.
Switchovers is going to happen for sure.
Turncoatism is going
how much from where and to whom are the 4 questions we must, focus on.
We have to focus on.
But what does December look like to you right now? I mean, sitting in June.
As of now, there are things like, for example, KCR is fighting a double incumbency kind of a thing because it's been almost 9 years. You cannot take away the legacy of Telangana's formation away from KCR because KCR is the father of Telangana. Let's accept the fact of it. He is the father of modern Telangana. So you cannot take that legacy away from him. Where an opposition party could in fact emerge, it would be to say that has he delivered on the promises of a Telangana that they wanted to have. And of course, if you look at the welfare programs in Telangana compared to others, KCR has got better welfare programs. But
you've got the Modi government that is taking credit for it. It is saying that the Modi government came into power in 2014 and that's when the state came into power. The tax devolution from 42 to 30%.
You ask any southern state with regard to
the Labharti schemes,
how much they get. No, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to Labharti schemes,
the growth.
Again, when it comes to the
PM Modi is saying that it's happening because of our help.
But take a look at the Labharti schemes. I mean, in Telangana, the kind of Labharti schemes that they had is much more advanced, and sometimes they seem to have been copied by the center as well.
Okay, take a look at this. Right after the Karnataka, Congress's Karnataka victory, rather, there were several articles that did the round where you had BJP, workers coming out and writing to newspapers saying that, this is what did not work out for the BJP this time around. There is lack of, leadership, there is hollow leadership, and there is too much of dependence on the central government vis-a-vis, quote-unquote, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Are they doing the same mistake this time around as well?
We're in Telangana.
With Telangana. Will they end up making the same mistake?
See, Telangana, that is a problem. You cannot upset two factions of this past system right now. Itala Rajendra was emerging within the leadership of the party. But then you have Bandi Sanjay on the ground. Who gets you votes? Grassroots Connect leader will get you the votes, right? Compared to the others. Now, the question is, if you, after winning the election also, if others raise the flag of rebellion, it's going to be very difficult. So there has to be some kind of balance right now. But even before you could actually spring up a challenge, you are starting with a divided house. So it's technically advantage KCR when it comes to BJP.
All right. Well, we'll have to wait and watch till December. So what really happens in Telangana. What next have we got, Varghese? Let's take a look at the front pages. Well, interesting bit that I'm just reading here on in the Indian Express. A 19-year-old student, and Varghese, take a look at this, has been challaned for creating nuisance in the Delhi Metro. This is a 19-year-old college student that has been challaned by the Delhi Metro officials for allegedly creating nuisance. Take a look at this picture. If the studio, the control room can cut to my camera. There's a small little picture over here. It's got 2 feet that are stopping the metro door from closing. कृपया सावधानी से रहें, कृपया पीली लाइन के पीछे रहें, दरवाजे बंद हो रहे हैं. I mean, there are proper announcements that are made. The doors are shutting, please stay away from the doors. And these are, 2 students, 19-year-old students that have now been challaned. They were, sticking their legs inside the door of the metro. There's a screen grab of the incident. I'll just quickly read this out and then maybe we can move on. A 19-year-old college student has been challaned by the Delhi Metro officials for allegedly creating nuisance inside the metro premises. A few days ago, video circulating on social media showed a group of boys putting their foot in between the train doors to prevent it from shutting. The incident took place earlier this week at Karol Bagh metro station in the afternoon. So just one of those shenanigans. A lot of students that also travel on the metro line as well, Varghese. But I think this cyclone is getting a little intense, isn't it? June 15th is the date. People are saying this cyclone Biparjoy is going to make landfall in Gujarat, heads close to the coast of Gujarat. Some reports are also saying it might just make landfall in Pakistan. And I'm sure Indians are going to be happy with that. It's like, whatever this is, just whatever, let it not happen to India, let it happen to Pakistan. That's going to be the general sentiment. But this cyclone, which they're saying is the second strongest ever that has originated from the Arabian Sea, is heading towards, it has changed its path and now heading towards the Kutch.
Well, that is, we've known that how cyclones do change path when it comes to weather. I mean, you cannot just predict it. What Times of India is saying that the very severe cyclonic storm is set to hit Kutch, and it's the second big cyclone in Gujarat in 3 years. So Biparjoy likely to make landfall between Manvi in Gujarat and Karachi, Pakistan around noon on June 15th as a very severe cyclonic storm with maximum sustained wind speeds of 125 to 135 kilometers per hour, gusting to 150 kilometers per hour. IMD red warning in Kutch, Jamnagar and Devbhoomi Dwarka for extremely heavy rain and high winds on June 15th. And meanwhile, it is also being said that there have been warnings already issued at the coastal areas as well to brace for this weather. About 1,500 people were evacuated from Devbhoomi Dwarka and Kutch districts from areas close to the coast as part of precautions that the local administration has begun to take. Meanwhile, a yellow alert for gusty winds was issued for Mumbai and Thane on Sunday. So you are going to see if, I mean, let's see whether this cyclones have an ability to change their paths as of now. But right now it seems to be predicted that the cyclone is moving towards Kutch, and it looks like the state is gearing up for the cyclone. And it also says that Biparjoy is likely to stretch nearly 10 days. Arabian Sea cyclones are lasting longer. This was not the situation earlier. In Arabian Sea, cyclones were actually very rare. It was mostly in the Bay of Bengal that you had the cyclones appearing. But now we have Arabian Sea cyclones also appearing right now. So I think you've taken up that.
Is that a fresh phenomenon? Is that a fresh phenomenon? Because it's the second biggest cyclone in Gujarat in 3 years.
Yeah. Well, you see, cyclones do come in the Arabian Sea, but not in this kind of intensity. They don't last longer as it is being seen now. Changes in weather is resulting in this kind of a situation.
Let's just show the viewers this little infographic that the Times of India has on their front page. And, you know, there are warnings of storm that have surged. There's warnings of floods. Fishermen have been advised by the IMD to not, you know, really step out. That's the expected track that you can see. This right here is, well, Gujarat. The red line is where the cyclone is now heading towards. That's the Kutch area that you can see on your screens. And it's the second biggest cyclone in Gujarat in 3 years. Fishermen have been advised not to step out at all. And if you can see, it's already made its way till here. And the red line next is the expected path that you can see. So it's a very severe cyclonic storm that is set to hit Kutch. 145 kilometers per hour gusts are likely in that area, and landfall is expected on Thursday. This coming from the IMD.
Also, Kabir,
Tokte in May 2021 was the last biggest cyclone to hit Gujarat. We all know what happened back then. People had to take boats to, you know, traverse or wade through that knee-deep flood sort of a situation. Evacuation saved lives, but infrastructure was heavily impacted. I remember Om Birla, one of those shots, the Lok Sabha speaker was on the boat, and Gujarat, Rajasthan, just floods in Gujarat in a deserted area. I know it's not a you know, a unique phenomenon. It has happened before, but with the severity of the Tokte cyclone, it was something totally different.
It was. And in the Times itself, they have mentioned that at least 2 teams of National Disaster Response Force, NDRF, and several state disaster response forces, SDRF teams, fire and emergency services and police personnel have started to be deployed in coastal areas of Gujarat after the IMD projected that cyclone Biparjoy was likely to make a sharp eastward turn on Wednesday and make landfall in Kutch region on the following day. So we have to wait till in Wednesday to see whether this predicted, you know, cyclonic, the storm route is in fact
Mother Nature.
Yes, Mother Nature. We can't predict as to how it could turn out to be.
And I know we have the science and the advancement and the technology to really, you know, to the pinpoint accuracy, tell where this cyclone is going to be headed, where is it going to rain, how much is it going to rain, what is the patch of that particular area, where is it going to impact. But still, Mother Nature has her own way. You don't know if this change of path towards the east side suddenly into Kutch is going to take a U-turn or keep on moving ahead.
Let's wait till Wednesday.
This is why I was saying.
There are reports on Wednesday that could be an eastward.
Yeah, it might make landfall in the area of Pakistan as well. Well, I think we should wrap this edition up with some sports news as well, because a lot of sporting activities happened during the weekend. Just to tell our viewers, I mean, we will talk about the Djokovic story, but before that, you know, there was the Champions League final. Manchester City and Pep Guardiola have managed to bag a treble, something that only Manchester United, it seems, had done before in an English side. With the treble, Guardiola now breathes soul into Man City's petrodollars. Petrodollars, of course, because the team had been bought by the Etihad Airways Group, one of the sheikhs of the UAE back in the day, if I've got the area and the region right. Manchester City had beaten Inter Milan 1-0 in the final. It was Rodri's 68th minute goal. I'll tell you, Varghese, it was such a beautiful, it was a sterling goal. You're from Kerala. What's your take on football? Did you ever play football back in the day?
Well, I'm not a very big fan of sports, I mean, when it comes to football or cricket, but I've seen the sycophancy with which people, in fact, support football
huh?
in Kerala. And
they say people from Kerala have to go one way. It's either Ronaldo or Messi.
Yeah, you know, there have been posters that used to be put up and things like that. But now a lot of people are actually following club football as well.
The Kerala Blasters.
The Kerala Blasters, and they're also following international club football as well. And it's changed now in the sense that for them suddenly from the local thing from a Mohan Bengal or Indian Railways, it's come to and then you have the international team like an Argentina, Brazil. It's come to people also having, you know, loyalties to certain clubs as well internationally, and in some of them in fact even watch the European football matches keenly.
I went to watch the World Cup in Qatar. I met two couples from Kerala, and they had named their children after Messi and Ronaldo, and that was something surreal. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to take that step, and I do like my football. Pep Guardiola has won the treble for the second time in his managerial career, while he's the first ever manager to do so with two different clubs, once in Barcelona and then in Manchester City. But our focus is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, you know what, take a look at this picture for yourself. This picture speaks for itself. This man is in a league of his own. Just take a look at this particular picture. That's Djokovic. His it says yours grudgingly, slam number 23 in a league of his own. No more Nadals, no more Federers. People will now talk about Djokovic. So all those questions about general knowledge, all those questions about, you know, current affairs, just give them a quick little change. Because we've got a new number on that maximum Grand Slam. It says right here, Djokovic categorically stamps his authority as the single most successful player men's tennis has ever seen. And I've read his book. You know, he talks about the two things that have really helped him out. One is diet, one is his nutrition. He says nutrition is everything. He talks about the science of ingestion before the science of digestion. And he also talks about yoga. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's still alive, that NBA legend when it comes to basketball, he spoke very highly of yoga, and now Djokovic as well. And with the elegance that, you know, he travels on the court, you know, you won't even realize where he's moving on the pitch.
They have given these incredible quotes on this. It's an incredible feeling to win 23. I'm beyond grateful and blessed to be standing here with so many incredible achievements. And he also goes on to say that it's no coincidence that my 23rd Grand Slam title has come here because it has been the hardest one for me to win in my career. I am very emotional right now and I'm very, very proud. Well, of course, he deserves to be proud when you have 23 titles with you.
You know, Alcaraz, the Spanish player, he's supposed to be the next big thing. He's a youngster. He matched up with Djokovic in the semi-finals of the competition. Many people said that, you know, this is the final of the competition, because you've got number one, number two, that particular battle was happening. Maybe I don't have the numbers right. He's supposed to be the next big thing. And you know what? Djokovic was on the back foot in that match. And because this youngster boy, Alcaraz, was dominating so much, his hamstring or some part of his leg gave way towards the latter half of the match. And that's what gave Djokovic this particular victory to move into the finals and have a shot at bagging that Grand Slam number 23. Interestingly, the Wimbledon is going to begin in the first week of July. This number could very well become Grand Slam number 24 for Djokovic. But you never know with these superstars, you know, they take their recovery very seriously. So I won't be shocked if Djokovic, you know, takes a little step back. But he's at his prime right now. I don't think he's going to give himself any breathing space, any breathing room at all. PR nightmare is a little, there's a different angle at play over here as well. I'll read that to you. His likeness for controversy stemming from his insistence that he does not want his opinion censored regardless of the consequences make him a PR nightmare. And he does not care, happy to exist outside the binaries that modern sporting icons have reduced to in today's PR-controlled world. That's how much freedom he plays with. A numbers game as well, just for statistics. 15. Novak Djokovic has won 15 of his last 18 Grand Slam finals. He also became the oldest French Open champion in history and the 4th oldest men's singles Grand Slam winner. So, will this 15 off of his 18 become 16 off of his 19 in the next Wimbledon that's coming up right next month? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. And of course, as in when we wrap up today's page 1 and sporting news, well, it's also again sad to see that India made it to the 2nd consecutive finals of the World Test Championship. But that batting just wasn't enough. The batting display wasn't enough. Boland from Australia was too good. I know, Varghese, you've been hearing that name from my mouth for the longest time.
You've
now.
been only speaking about that the thing about
how Boland won
how he was
Australia,
demolishing
WTC
India's
in
batting.
1 over. That's the title line here. It says how Boland won Australia the WTC in 1 over. And the bigger problem here is, and something that the Indian Express has also covered, Rohit Dravid, is the Indian team sleepwalking into the same old problems? Well, get down in the comment sections. Let us know. Varghese, we've got a tough day cut out for us, but an interesting day as well. Yep. I mean, you can catch on to the Manipur show at 11 a.m. With experts and panelists where both sides come and you actually have a discussion and there's no firing or violence at play. Secondly, down south story is something that we really focus on during the afternoon, and then in the evening, news stories that you must have missed out on. Everything else is already coming on your phone. You know, interesting things, maybe quirky things, sometimes things that you must know. That's coming on in the evening, apart from other discussions and debates as well. That's me, Kabir Naqvi, signing off. That's Varghese Abraham. Continue to be with us with the process here at News 9 Live. We want to bring the kind of journalism you'd expect to you. Thank you so much. Keep watching. Stay tuned.